All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, we are live in full effect right here, right now with the one, the only. We got Ray Riley right here live on the line. How are you doing this evening?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you having me on, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you in advance for just giving us a little bit of your time this evening, man. You know, you are an up-and-coming rising star, man, and so far you've done some phenomenal stuff in your career.
Yeah, man. I mean, I appreciate all that, man. I've done a good amount, man. So I'm still trying to do more, man. I'm never being content. So I'm trying to keep going. I'm trying to level up more.
But I gotta ask you, man, I want to take you back to the beginning of your career, and I have to know, man, like, what actually inspired and sparked the career of Ray Riley?
I would say the main thing, man, is really my pops. He was in the Legion of Doom, which was a big time hip hop group in San Diego in like the late '80s, early '90s. So I've kind of been around music my entire life, and it's something I've always been around and been inspired by. You know, a kid wanted to be like his dad, you know, with the music thing, and that kind of took over my life in a sense. So that's what really inspired all of this, and that's how I got started. You know, so at that point, I kind of just took it and ran with it, kind of grabbed the baton, and now I'm trying to do my own thing with it.
So since you've been doing your own thing, man, has your father ever, like, you know, spoke with you and gave you advice to help better your career, professional-wise?
Oh, for sure, man. He's whenever I make songs, man, he's the guy. He's the first one to hear it. Whenever I make a new track or if I got a new album about to come out, I sit him down and I let him listen to everything and I get his opinion on it. Because he has a good ear, man. And a lot of times, you know, there'll be tracks that I really like that he doesn't. And, you know, we clash heads sometimes, but he's the guy that I trust, man. And so, you know, when I'm making new material, it always goes through him first. You know, I get his opinion on it and see what he thinks. Because he's been in the game, so he has a good idea of what, you know, what's going on. And like I said, he has a good ear, so I trust him a lot for sure. He's always gonna be real with me too. He's never gonna sugarcoat anything. If it's trash, he'll tell me it's trash, and if it's good, he'll let me know too. So that's good for me.
And also, on June 2nd of 2017, man, you dropped your first EP titled Workin'. I was wondering, man, what's the story and inspiration behind that phenomenal EP? And of course, man, is it still available today to be purchased or streamed worldwide?
Yeah, man, it's purchased. It's available on all platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, anything, iTunes, all that. And the inspiration behind that was really just, you know, like a kid in his college dorm room, just getting started on music, trying to, you know, make something happen with it because that's something I love doing. You know, it was all recorded in my college room, so it was just, you know, the title was just self-explanatory. I'm just working, man, trying to make a name for myself. So that was a while ago, and now I'm still, you know, I just put out a new project before this one was called Working 2, which is the second part of that. And then my most recent project, which came out February 26th, is called Locked In. So I've kind of just been dropping projects, you know, constantly trying to just grow and level up my sound and my exposure.
And also as well, man, as you already know, we got connected via Trey Boogie, man, out there in San Diego, man. I was wondering, how did yourself and Trey get connected? And of course, man, what was it like just actually working with him?
So with Trey, it's actually a funny situation because he is a friend of my pop. So I got connected with him through my dad, and he was the one that actually put me onto. I made a track not too long ago called Freedom, kind of in regards to the whole George Floyd situation and what's been going on with the police brutality in the world. And I made it. It's called Freedom. It's on Apple Music, Spotify, all that, off of the Working 2 project that I was telling you about. And he had sent me something from Rosenberg, Peter Rosenberg, down at Hot 97 in New York. And I sent him that track, and that was the first time I ever got some radio play, was from Hot 97. Because I sent Rosenberg the track, and he liked it, and he played it on the radio. And so from that point, man, it's always been love with me and Trey, man. He's been super helpful, and I appreciate him, man, for real.
And I gotta say as well, man, and I'm not just saying this because he's one of the radio station's sponsors, but he is a phenomenal individual, man. He most definitely cares not only about the genre of hip hop, but for his city of San Diego, man. I mean, I've seen this guy bust his back backwards and frontwards just for his city, man. So I gotta give one giant huge shit up to Trey, most definitely a valued member of his community. I can tell you that for a fact.
For sure, man. Big shout out to Trey, man. For sure, 100%. Couldn't agree with you more.
And also, man, another phenomenal album you dropped, man. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because me personally, I've been really drawn to this record, man. The past month, I've been sitting back jamming to it. But on July 27th of 2018, you actually dropped the album I Remember, man. What was the inspiration behind that phenomenal record, man? I gotta know, because there's so many like spiritual songs in there, man, with such amazing meanings.
That project was that was just me reminiscing, man, on you know, my life and how I got to the point where I'm at, man. Everything, you know, because I view experiences as material. You know, that's where I get my material from, life experiences. That's where I draw things from. You know, I have to go through things in my life in order to create art. So with that, you know, I remember it was really just me reminiscing on my life and kind of just taking everybody through the journey of how I got to where I am, how I think the way I think, why I am the way I am. At that point in time, you know, as a 21, 22-year-old, you know, that's where mentally I was at that point in time. So obviously things have changed, and in my music you'll be able to hear that and see that, you know. But at that space and time, and all that stuff was real to me. So that's one of my favorite projects that I put out for sure.
And also as well, I saw that on March 6, 2019, you actually had the opportunity to perform at the legendary Apollo Theater in New York City. I gotta ask you, man, what was that experience like? And of course, what was the outcome of that, man?
It was surreal, man, to say the least. I mean, that was my first time performing in front of a crowd that large. I think it was like 1,500 people, and nobody knew who I was. I was going up against nothing but singers, you know, and everybody sang great, because usually at the Apollo you have a bunch of different acts. But for that particular night, it was a bunch of people who could sing their behinds off. So it was a great experience, man, and I ended up making it through my whole performance without getting booed and pulled off stage, you know, and I got cheers at the end. And I think I got like 5th place out of like 8 people or something like that. But to be honest with you, you couldn't tell me nothing after that show. Like, I felt like I was on cloud 9, because, you know, to be in Harlem, New York, where nobody knows who Ray Riley is, and to end the show with hand claps and cheers and not get booed off stage, being the only rapper there and everybody else is a singer, it was just, to me, man, it was amazing. So that was validation for me, like, okay, I think I'm doing something right. I might be onto something with this music thing. So it was good for me.
And also as well, I have to ask, man, because like as you said, you know what I mean, of getting booed off stage, which you didn't, man. It sounds like you did a great performance. But like they always say, man, at the Apollo crowd sometimes can be very can be very harsh, man. So like they say, if you can make it in New York, you can literally make it anywhere, man. So I'm gonna say, man, congratulations on rocking the Apollo.
No, man, exactly. You ain't lying, like you said, man. If you're whack, they gonna let you know. They're not too concerned about your feelings over there, you know. So if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, they're gonna tell you to get off the stage. Boo, you suck. So the fact that I was able to keep them engaged enough, and they was able to, like, okay, let me listen to what this kid has to say, and let me listen to his music, and I made it through my whole thing, and I got cheers at the end. Like I said, like, for me, that was a huge validation for me, and I'll never forget that for the rest of my career. That's something that I'll always remember going forward.
And also, man, you have another phenomenal single out titled Barbershop. I gotta ask you, man, where can our listeners actually check that track out? And of course, man, is it inspired by Ice Cube's motion picture trilogy?
So that track is on all platforms as well: iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. It's going crazy on TikTok right now. A lot of people are using it on TikTok. But nah, man, that track was actually inspired from the barbershop that I went to growing up, from when I was 9 all the way till this past year when they closed down due to COVID, unfortunately. But at the time, they were doing some type of video shoot for the barbershop, and they wanted to have a theme song for the shop. And I've been going there for about 15 years, you know. So when they asked me to do it, I was like, man, of course, you know, I'll make a song for the shop. And then it actually blew up a lot bigger than I expected. Like, I thought it was just going to be a little song for the little commercial they were doing, but a lot of people liked that song. So it was really just for the barbershop that I went to. It wasn't inspired by the Ice Cube movie or anything. It was for, the guys who, at the shop that I grew up at. So that was something that was really cool for me to do.
And I gotta ask you as well, like, because a phenomenal single like that, man, do you ever plan on putting any of your singles actually on vinyl? Because I know a lot of people are really doing, like, the whole vinyl 12-inch singles nowadays.
To be honest with you, man, I really thought about it. Like, I really want to do that with either a single or a project. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but that has been a thought because, the whole vinyl thing is something that I've really thought about doing, and I've actually recently been talking about doing that. So I'm going to be doing that soon with one of the tracks. I don't know which one yet in particular or what project yet, but that'll definitely be coming up soon for sure.
And also, man, you actually recently released the record titled Cuda via SoundCloud, man. I was wondering, can you tell our listeners a bit more about your new project? And of course, do you actually have any hard copies available for the old school listeners? The reason why I'm asking is because some of our listeners, they really do still love that compact disc format.
Yeah, so for that project, unfortunately, I don't have a hard copy for the Cuda project, but I have hard copies for Working. I remember Working 2. I have hard copies for those, excuse me. But for that Cuda project, man, no, I don't have any hard copies for that. It's just exclusively on SoundCloud and YouTube. And that was a project that I was real proud of, too, because that was more of like a alter ego, introducing people to that alter ego side, which people will see again in my music. That's like a whole other entity. That's not Ray Riley. That's a whole different artist in my head. But that's it was just an introduction, trying to introduce people to that new side. So you'll be hearing from him again soon in the future for sure.
But I gotta ask you, Ray, like, what is next for you? Is there anything I missed during tonight's interview? Anything else you still want to talk about or promote? What would still have you here live on the Canadian airwaves?
Man, I'm just going to keep working, man. Continue to work. Continue to try to elevate, man. I appreciate you having me on the airways out there. I just want everybody to follow me on social medias, at Really Ray Riley on Instagram, at Really Ray Riley on Twitter, at Really Ray Riley on TikTok. And, of course, just get at me on YouTube at Ray Riley, man. It's just, I'm going to continue to grow, man. Keep working. I'm going to keep putting out music. And I just want everybody to tune in to the journey, man, because it's going to be fun, man. So I hope everybody just tunes in and follows me.
And I got to ask you, man, right before we wrap things up, man, is there anybody you want to give some shout-outs to, man, when we have you still here on the Canadian airways, man? Because, we might be in Canada, man, but we're a worldwide platform, man. So you already know some of your fans probably tuning in.
Oh, yeah, man. Shout out to Trey for linking us up, man, making this thing happen. Shout out to my uncle, man, DJ Mikey. Shout out to my pops, of course. Shout out to the whole fam, everybody, all my friends, man. Y'all already know who you are. Shout out to everybody supporting my music and streaming it, man. I can't thank y'all enough, man. For every fan from anywhere, everybody that's DM me, reached out to me, everybody that supports and listens, I appreciate every single one of you guys, man. It's all love, and I appreciate you for having me on this radio station, man. This means a lot to me for real. So I can't thank you enough, man. I really appreciate you.
Hey, man, you are most certainly welcome, man. I just like helping to preserve and help keep real hip hop alive, man. And that's exactly what you are, man. You are a real hip hop MC, man. So you know what? If you keep making it, we down here in Canada are gonna keep spinning it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love it, man. I love to hear it.
Hey, man, I gotta say I love hearing real hip hop as well, man. But I gotta say, Ray, for now, man, I hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon. But for now, man, you most definitely stay safe out there, out on the West Coast, man. And if you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate you.
You're most certainly welcome, man. Have yourself a wonderful night.
You too. All right.